not to do. But if I were you, I'd fall in love with me. I think that you know best, and let me suggest that if I were you, I'd fall in love with me. Oh gee, you're the one that I love, my heart skips a beat. Oh gee, you've got all of my love, can you feel the heat? My sweet, now I don't want to tell you what to do and what not to do. But if I were you, I'd fall in love with me, oh gee, when I look in your eyes, there's no light somehow. Oh gee, won't you ever get wise? Take advantage now, honey, even though you're not a millionaire. Hey, you're getting there. So if I were you, oh, why not fall with me, with me? Handsome baby, now you're the one that I love. Heavens above, I'm giving up the one I love.
Good, nice job.
Second to last move, that looks really good when you do what the side does. Yeah,
Is that number
and then
one
you do
or
this,
number two?
now getting out of it is real slow. And I'm wondering if we should make it simpler. Is this like 3 steps or something? Because everybody's like going at all different times, and I think it might be better just to go.
Has she been here before? Was that the first time?
Do you all think chorus-wise? To make changes, do you all think that would be easier? So let's try to talk something and figure out if we can just do it instead of the 3 steps, because you'll never get everyone to do boom, boom, boom together. Okay, so that's why little things like that kind of just jump out at you. So we can just do boom, back. So you talk it. Heavens above. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Heavens above, I'm dreaming of
Boom. Just come right back. Because I'm telling you, you're right in the tag, and you need that power anyway, and then now it's kind of going. You know, everybody's there at different times, and it's kind of like, it's just not working. So that just says power to me. It just goes boom, and you're right there ready to sing the tag, and it's not working, you know.
Is that back to Lynn or
I would say it's back to, well, then what do you do after that?
this and then spread?
Yeah, back to Lynn. I think it should be back to Lynn. But then do you spread to Lynn and then out from Lynn? Yes, that's what I would say. It's just that move coming back is the only thing that really kind of bad. Just go boom, just right back. All right?
Okay. Okay, got it.
It was pretty good. It was just not good that time.
It must have worked in a way.
So hopefully, it was good every other time. I mean, it wasn't so goofy, but this time it looked really kind of, I don't know, some people got out of whack on it or forgot it, but you know which one I'm talking about?
Well, that one's going
They
that
got it
side.
fairly decent, and
This was
then I
going
think it worked out a lot, but that time it just didn't work as well, but hopefully it's just a one-time deal.
Okay.
Otherwise,
All right,
visually,
straight
it
on
looks
to this
not
half.
bad. Really, I mean, you just got to take this thing seriously. So it's pretty clean, and everybody knows the moves. I mean, you might trip up here and there, one person or whatever, but that's, I don't think there's any judge who can sit there and write one person making one. You know, I mean, that's why you get the whole thing out of your head, and if you perform it, they're too busy in their performance to even care. I mean, have you ever watched a group that's like so good, and maybe there's something that goes wrong, and you're just so into it, you just don't.
Okay.
That's where you want to be. You don't want to be careful, because then you never get to the point. Then that's where they have all the time in the world to go. And there's nothing exciting going on. It's very careful. We don't want to do that. stuff, or?
So, the final two moves. I'm dreaming of God.
Yes. I just want to come right back. Right back at it. There's no reason to. Just back to that.
Okay, good.
Want to practice that? And I also want to practice the head move because that was a little better that time, but it's still, do you know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to think of which one looks the best. Because everybody's doing different things. I'm like, well, that one looks pretty good. That one looks okay, but no, that one doesn't look right, you know. So anyway, let's just talk the end.
And Rogers, will you take a breath, please?
So the words are, that's above, that's all right, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's above. Good, good. Yes, that's going to be so much better. Just going to go boom, right back at them, okay? Because you're going right into the tag, so you want to be strong with it.
Come back on the one like a reset.
Pretty much, it's kind of like that, yes. And I don't think musically it should hurt that at all. So, can we do the peel part real quick? Can we just talk to it? Anybody know the words? Just right where it starts. I know.
For instance, you have your ideas. For instance.
What was it?
For instance, you have your ideas.
For instance.
Second line in,
Okay.
I can do it from the beginning.
Okay. Okay. Can we just talk that one, just to the peel part? So, you want to talk from the beginning?
Yes.
Because then we can get the now.
Got it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Everyone has an opinion now. That fact has always been known.
Good.
For instance, you have your ideas, and
That was better. Okay. I can live with that. That was much better. So be careful though. I think a lot of people get caught up. What I'm seeing a lot of is this, along the riser.
Okay.
So we're seeing your side and we're losing your voice. We don't want to do that. Try to keep it, but then I also don't want it like straight at Lynn either.
Learn how to swim. Absolutely.
Or in between. Okay? But that was pretty good.
So what I'm saying is don't blame me.
Well, it wouldn't hurt too quick. Yeah. It's kind of a quick snap that gets moved. Okay. You ready now?
I think so.
Back here.
Are you guys still here? Yes.
I told him I'm trying not to direct at all, so if anything's wrong, don't blame me. Okay, from the beginning, from the beginning. Okay.
Everyone has an opinion. Now
stay with Lynn all the way to the end. That was definitely a better rip there. Hey, it's great to hear you again. It's been a while. It's been almost a year about since I've heard you. And I love the new approach to our singing. It's very buoyant. It's very musical. I don't hear any grab to the sound at all. It's muscle free. So the biggest fine line we want to continue to walk, and I heard it was awesome when Kim was helping us, was keeping the energy in that new free, buoyant, musical sound without allowing it to clamp when we start to get more excited and passionate about our music. So right now, I still think we can get closer to pegging the needle from an energy standpoint with not allowing it affecting our instrument, of course, because I think the buoyancy and how unified our vocal approach now is way better than it was a year ago, way better. But now we just need a little bit more of the swagger and intensity that we had when we didn't know how to sing. Meaning that in a fun way. Meaning you definitely know how to sing better now. Overall, this is the best vocal choice I've ever heard Cincinnati Sound make. Now we just got to make sure that we put a big Tiffany bow on it. We got to wrap it up nicely and not just show up and be muscle free. That won't be enough, although that's a huge step in the right direction. That won't be enough to change the room unless the attitude and intensity is backing it up. But I really like the approach. The approach is way better than it's ever been. So now it's just maximizing and being more confident about it. That this is definitely the new culture and the new way to sing in Cincinnati Sound. And now just, let it fit you a bit more, that's all. But by the design, and Terry's better at it than I am, the design of the plan,
Was
I like the, yeah.
And actually, and that was probably the cleanest you'll look also, visually.
And it was vocally cleaner
Just
too,
gotta let it
hand in
go.
hand.
I'm telling you, like Lynn said, overthinking it, way too much thinking. That was, every time you release all that, and just start performing it, I'm telling you, it'll clean it up, just like it happened last time.
And I like Lynn not directing as much, meaning she's choosing to do that, and it's tough. It's tough to direct less, for those of you that have ever waved your arms, so it's tough to do. And she's letting us go, meaning for us to live in the next level, it has to be more singer-driven like you've been working on. Lynn's not going to be able to do it for us. She can no longer be our enabler. We have to be the ones that know how to sing and step up and deliver. So I like her choices now. She's picking and choosing where she's been slapped around by Kim telling her, no, you're not going to direct there. But it's way better. She's picking and choosing. That forces us in a good way to be more singer-driven. Can't rely on Lynn pulling us through. Can we hear the ballad once too, just to see where it's at? Or was that not on the agenda for tonight? Do you not control the ballad at all? Okay, cool, cool. Just to see how that compares. And is the ballad first? Is it ballad up to? Okay, cool. Is that okay or no? You're not going to need the ballad?
I have everything in that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What's the first word again?
Try to sing?
I understand.
Guys, I think we should be focused.
That's always good.
This is the first song.
constantly surprising refrain. Wide awake, I can make my most fantastic dreams come true. My romance, my romance doesn't need a thing but you,
Awesome. Let's stay in the mode and run a whole set. We're going to run the up tune again. Great song.
everyone has an opinion. Now that fact has always been known and known. For instance, you have your ideas, and I've my own. But when it comes to love, no doubt, we can help each other, help each other out. I don't want to tell you what to do and what not to do. But if I were you, I'd fall in love with me. I think that you know best, and let me suggest that if I were you, I'd fall in love with me. Oh gee, you're the one that I love. My heart skips a beat. Oh gee, you got all of my love. Can you feel the heat? My sweet, now I don't want to tell you what to do and what not to do. But if I were you, I'd fall in love with me. Oh gee, when I look in your eyes, there's no lie somehow. Oh gee, won't you ever get wise? Take advantage now, honey, even though you're not a millionaire. Hey, you're getting there. So if I were you, oh, why not fall with me? Oh, handsome baby, can you see? Now you're the one that I love. Heavens above, I'm dreaming of the one I love.
Nice job. Awesome. Better each time we do it. Go ahead, Terry. Chime in on what you've already seen to that point.
No, I think it's what you have said, it's getting better every time.
So what's your wish list for tonight? Is there a certain area of either song? Anything at all? Awesome. Absolutely. So, even though I've not heard you in a while, I don't want to get too left-brained because we are close enough, in my opinion, where the more of that we can let go and not overthink it and just get involved, including the ballad, not just the great up-tune, but more involved in that. Man, you know, one of the greatest songs ever written. What a great chart by Larry, too. So, I mean, killer music there. So the involvement that we're starting to get more and more consistently on the up-tune each time I hear you do it and we see you do it, and we could have more of that all-in approach to the ballad, even though there's not as much planned performance in the ballad. We still need to be all in from that angle. Vocally, we're making a lot of good choices there. Just want to see you back it up cosmetically a bit more, that's all. Can we work a bit on the ballad, or go ahead?
Yeah, well, the only place I can really think of that I would like to see a little bit more is at the sort of the beginning of the uptune, where it needs to be more fun. It's not so fun right now. I mean, when I say fun, it's like in your face, and you can even bounce a little instead of being, so it's right at the beginning. I think 139th Street, that's all I can, and that's all they do.
Great.
Their moves were, and it's just because it's kind of like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if I were you, I'd fall in love with me. You know, I mean, come on, it's all in fun. And it's right now, and it's just that beginning part. Otherwise, though, I'm telling you, moves, you know them. You know them, I'm telling you. You know them.
It is. It's a great personality character, too, as you know.
Yeah, that's what we want to see now is the personality of the chorus.
Don't want to be close to the vest on the uptune.
Because there'll be a lot of good ones, but there won't be a lot of good ones with a great personality. And the song really is great for that.
And this is an old school panel, meaning that, respectfully, meaning these ladies have been around for decades. They're all, sorry, I looked at Carol when I said decades, but they've all been around forever, meaning they're well-versed, tons of experience in Sweet Adeline's individually and as judges. So in a good way, they've pretty much almost seen it all and heard it all. So there won't be any surprises from this panel. They're pretty, they know exactly what they're looking for. They're nuts and bolts ladies, so I think that bodes well, especially with our new vocal approach. Janie's the sound judge, right? Janie Maxwell. See, I think she'll definitely like that lighter, more buoyant vocal approach without a doubt. I think that'll definitely show up on her score sheet.
That really helps.
No, absolutely it does.
Meaning, a lot.
Absolutely. But really, that buoyancy and freedom in the sound, it's a much more unified approach. Still, there's an occasional thing we can nitpick, but the overall approach of how we're doing things vocally is way more unified than it's ever been. It still can be cleaner in some spots. But again, the lock and ring and focus of our weapons are really good. Real free, real buoyant, liking that a lot. So let's actually work that spot that Terry's talking about, the freedom in the uptune, because then we're going to go back and forth, if that's okay with Lynn, uptune ballad, to steal some of that uptune freedom and place it into the ballad to our advantage. So let's open the upper again, please. One technical comment at the end of the intro, you know the big find each other out. We got the neat visual and vocal move there at the end. Right now I'm still hearing a few too many of us in our personal breath plan. So I hear too many of us go away before the crescendo and courtship. So we hear a little bit of a hitch if we're not careful there. So you just crush the ballad. Beginning of the uptune. So even those, and Lynn's been pretty consistent on these. So each time she's direct, I don't know if this is new, how we're tuning up, but that needs to be way more all in, ladies. The performance actually starts there, not after we start singing. So there's, and Carolyn can speak on that, even though she's a music judge. We get a feel if you know what you're doing or not right out of the gate. We don't have to be a showmanship judge to tell by the look of how we tune up if this is going to be something special. So let's make that as good as everything else you've been working on. The tune-up coming in with Lynn.
Ideas, and I've my own.
it's clean and unified, the believability factor is so
Correct.
close
And you
to
just
the
got
best.
done with your barbershop.
And that was the best you've done it tonight,
Yes,
by the
it
way.
was awesome.
That was awesome.
And then this is where it's got to be lighthearted and fun. And what are you're doing moves there too, though, right? What are you doing? Yeah, I want to see more of that. Wobble your head a little bit. And do it all from your core. I did that wrong, but I wanted a little bit of lightheartedness, and it's not so. You see what I mean?
Yep.
It's got to be, and all those places where you're not doing anything, do something. Does that make sense? There's never a place in the song where it's not something going on. It doesn't have to be a planned move, because I'd rather see that's involvement to me, and that's like, and it's fun, and it's, that's what's going on. It's lightheartedness, and it's not so, okay, next move. Up and down, okay? See what I mean? It's not that bad. I'm being really, really big. I mean, from what it was the last time I was here, trust me, it's just way better. Way better. It's really, you've done a lot of work. It's great.
So how about we finish the intro like that every time?
Yeah.
And now all we need on top of that, not louder, but just more energized finishing work when you finish. Out. When you finish that word, finish it with that same type of passion that you're locking the target.
I want you to lift it up. It's just coming this way. Remember Molly said, it can't come just this way, it has to go this way as well. And I'm not feeling that. I just feel it this way. Good. You want to pick it up in the middle there? But when it comes to love,
But when it comes to love, no doubt, we can help each other.
I have to stop you because so far every time I don't hear any leads singing "We Can" on this side of the chorus.
It is. It's
I hear
more
this
present to the left. Correct.
I hear it all over here, "We Can," but I hear no leads over here. Are you singing?
Leads, raise your hands.
Come on, Watkins.
You are.
Yes.
Okay.
The best things was
Oh, yeah, it's not a week. I'm singing.
But I know you're singing, so I can hear you. But I know you're singing.
Don't scream it at me, but I need to hear it over here too. Okay?
Yeah, don't be cocky over here, Leeds. Try that one more time.
But when it comes to love, no doubt, we can help each other, help each
Sorry, Lynn, one more time. Better overall energy and approach, just the tonality wasn't quite as stunning that time. One more time, please.
Don't change anything as far as placement or vowel sound when you change the chord. And that's what I hear happening.
Yep.
And especially if you're taking a breath, you're not coming in the same. Remember, you don't come in at the same power if you
Gotta
have to
release the
take
pedal.
there.
So it's gonna be You gotta make sure that we finesse our way back in when you leave the sound and re-enter.
It's usually that's the chord with the push that at the end, but don't change anything else. Here. Now I hear it getting more spread. Which is changing that. Okay. But when it comes
That's it.
But when it comes to love, no doubt, we can help each other.
That wasn't as good as the last time. You guys were awesome the last time. All of a sudden I heard leads on this side of the chorus. I didn't hear it quite so good that time. So whoever didn't sing that time, you're needed. I didn't hear the leads on.
Was it you, Peggy? Was it all you?
I was singing. I had it.
More time for that same thing.
Here we go. But when it comes
But when it comes to love, no doubt,
ladies, let's open the ballad. With that type of swagger and bounce, let's open the ballad.
It looks good too.
Yeah, man. It's funny how that works. Just so that we're in agreement on this, I didn't discuss this with Lynn because I've only heard you do it the one time. So when you first ran the set for us a moment ago, when we did Ballad Up Tune, the tune-up of this was never in flawless agreement, just being honest, meaning like, we hear that key and then we all come in there. There was a constant fight for as long as Lynn was holding it and we were holding that note, which is a while. It's like 30 seconds or more because it's the initial thing. So we need to either update the plan of if you're going to be holding it, and Carolyn can speak on this too, meaning if we hear you hold something for 30 seconds and you're fighting the pipe the whole 30 seconds, we're going to have a negative bias before you even start the song. So right out of the gate, we're either going to have to be flawlessly in tune with that pipe, or we shouldn't be tuning up that long. I mean, it's just like we're waving a flag for 30 seconds if we're not on top of that pipe. It's real close. The good news is it's unified tone, but as a chorus, as a team, it needs to be high in the saddle because we hold it for a while. You'll probably need, some of us will need 4 or 5 additional slick personal breaths in and out the whole time you're holding that. Friendly reminders too, sorry to be chatty for a moment. You got to know what kind of voice you are. All the great work you've been doing on to bring this chorus closer together from a voice choice standpoint. You got to know when Lynn or our in-house team is giving instruction on what kind of bass you are, Fran. Fran's got to know if she tends to be more of a rich, warm, resonant bass, or she tends to be more of an upfront, brilliant, ringy bass. So again, all of which we need in the section. We need the low circus freak basses that are and we need the baritone basses that are the high mid basses too. We need you all, but you got to know what kind of voice you have so that when we're getting group instruction, how it impacts you. If you already tend to be a little richer and broader in the bass voice, and Lynn wants a little bit more warmth from the basses and you give more, you're defeating the purpose. So you got to know what kind of voice you are in your section so that when we get group instruction, she needs that a little bit more tilted forward for the baritones. That's definitely me because I live in the warm side of baritone. You got to know where you defer and your defaults are so that you can make updates better. We need more things to be on your radar. Women are the great multitaskers. Men agree. You're the great multitaskers. We're going to need you to multitask a lot more now. It's no longer just about agreeing on the voice choice and being muscle-free and artistic. Now you got to have more things. You're going to be spinning more plates all at once to bring this team to the next level. So it's just like even if you're not a video game fan, you memorize a level, perfect it, and then you move on to the next level. It's just like music. It doesn't need to be overwhelming. It's one thing at a time, and then you memorize it. So just try to get more things on your radar. Listen to those around you a bit more, be a bit more aware, be a bit more in the moment as opposed to autopilot. This is the way I've rehearsed it. That'll branch up. The one thing that we don't get to see Lynn do too often, and she's awesome at it, is she has unbelievably musical, artistic hands. And if we force her to live in destination direction or her reminding us of dynamics, shape, or how things are delivered, she doesn't get to play in artistry. And I mean, if you're talking artistic hands, she hangs. She hangs with Debbie, she hangs with Kim, but we got to allow her to play there. We have to allow her to play there and not force her to direct in other areas to help us along. Deal? So that's on us. The more singer-driven we become, the more artistic she's allowed to be with her hands. And I mean, we're missing the boat if we don't scratch that. Can we try opening the ballad one more time, please, from the tip of the ballad? By the look, and I can't hear you, but by the look, those got to be flawlessly placed tones. So let's look to the as opposed to oh. So that's muscle free, you could argue. This is gonna be That's a muscle-free tone that's non-contributing. So again, you don't get points just for being muscle-free. One more time, same thing. Good. So it's getting better. So unlike you do what you always do, Lynn, unlike whatever you've been doing from a blueprint strategy standpoint, don't think volume at all. You will need to feed it. We don't want it to die on the vine. But it's just, you sneak back in as much as you need to, in and out. But that initial freedom and lock was way better out of the gate. It just started to go south when some of us started to crescendo a bit. The placement or the point of the weapon ever so slightly changed. The initial strike was perfect that time. One more
You
time.
don't have to crescendo until the lights come up and I walk out. And then it's just a little bit.
Just a gorgeous, buoyant, ringing. It's great. Shake it out, say hello to your neighbor, what a pleasure it is to be standing next to her. That's a good We'll try to make some noise. Just blow the pitch that whole time and do So here's the deal. So I'm just being honest with you on my assessment. That's why I wanted to talk to Lynn and Carolyn and Terry about it. So that's better, but we hold that for a really long time. So right now, I'm more worried for you than I am like, man, this is going to be awesome. Just being honest about that. In this safe environment, I'm like, it's better, but there's still a little flight from a few voices, and we hold it forever. So the deal is, we're not holding the first chord, you're just humming the note that's being blown, hopefully. You're humming the note that's being blown. But it's not like we're starting on our starting note, then we go to the 4-part chord to start the song. So the concern is, without that tune-up, without that big key, then without a tune-up chord, we're a little shy when we initially enter the sound. Instead of being present right out of the gate. So, just so that you know, that's why it's still in. The reason that long tune-up is still in is the confidence in us being able to start it out of the park without being a little apologetic or tentative out of the gate. So that's the double-edged sword. In my mind, and it's Lynn's call, it's her chorus, I'd like to hear you at least try it a couple of times with no tune-up at all, knowing why it was put in. It was put in to help us be more confident when we start the song. I'd like to suggest that we can be more confident when we start the song without any tune-up, just the pipes going endlessly during that whole thing. You don't get tired out, you're not worried about a thing, you're soaking up the applause, totally focused with Lynn. She does the same timing she's always done, and then we just start the song without any tune-up. Can we try it? Just see what happens? We want to do it with the call-off and everything. So we're number 3 out of how many?
23.
Wow.
But 4 are not in
We opened it Okay? Oh my goodness. Boom, boom, boom. Well, at least you got good ones to set the level. In a good way, you're not the first. But you're not. You're not the first. I know, but you're not the first crunch course that has to set a level. There'll be a couple of good ones in front of you, so
True.
the judges should definitely be ready when you get out there, without a doubt. Right? Who is it? Soda Valley and Toontown? Because they're both doing evaluation because you're going international practice. Awesome. Cool. So again, we're going to do, Terry's going to do the call off. The pipes are going to go just like they always have, and no one's going to hum. You're just going to look like $1 million, slow, deep breaths through the nose, and ready to tear it up when we start. Yep. Until Lynn's already terrified. Good turnout. See? That was already better because you didn't have to worry about tuning up.
Can we have the doors closed? No smoking. You're right at the beginning, right? No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, we'll go on. Contestant number 3 from Cincinnati, Ohio, under the direction of Lynn Hart.
Yeah!
The Cincinnati Sound Chorus.
And Lynn will milk it. Be ready.
What do I need for my romance to grow?
Now, I like it better already. So we still need a bit more bass clef confidence. Leads, way to get it. Man, that was real presence and way in at leads and not over the top. That was a good effort by the lead singers. So again, that was perfectly in tune. Just a little bit of lack of confidence from a few of the bass clef. So again, I know that's the first time we tried it. Leads, I would have taken that one to the stage by the lead section. Thought the lead section said was pretty awesome. Can we try it one more time, please? So again, there's no apologies. When Lynn turns around, what's the opening lyric? Sorry, love of, what do I need? What do I need? Boom, right out of the gate, no apologies, all in. Can we do it again, please? Flash into pearly whites, nice slow breaths through the nose. Contestant number 3.
Contestant number 3, under the direction of Lynn Hartmute from Cincinnati, Ohio, the Cincinnati Sound Chorus.
Yeah, pearly whites, confidence, shaking your heads, can't wait. Full, complete breath out of the gate. What? Very bass.
What do I need for my romance to grow?
Way to go, ladies. So we're going to do that one more time. That was even better. So shake it out again just for a second. Right, but there's not even enough information to cut off the whole thing. Just without discussing, just so we can press that. Awesome. That's strong enough, isn't it, Carol? We can always put that back in without a doubt. Forward. Yeah. Firmer engine is better than. Cool. Way to go, berries and basses. Tenors, you're always awesome.
Contestant number 3, under the direction of Lynn Hartmute from Cincinnati, Ohio, the Cincinnati Sound Chorus.
You ready?
What do I need for my romance to grow? It's really quite simple, you know.
Nice job. So now just the subtlety. Great start, ladies. There's a little release to that, even though there's not a breath. So that nuance, which is awesome, it's A-level nuance. It just needs to be executed at the A-level. How's that line go again? Is it the word simple? Right? It's like simple, ba-da-da, right? You almost convince us that you're going to breathe. Simple, da-da-da. Then it goes, right? So it's that tease and taunt, how it looks like we're going to breathe, and then we all carry it over without. Most of us are doing that. You can just breathe and go if you want to this time. What do I? Bass clef fillet.
What do I need?
No worries.